Hello, y'all. HH-BlueDynamite here, the number 2 has-been blue, back again for another video, but this time it's not a has-been related one. Instead, it's about a fan project that pretty much revived a very beloved cartoon that I and many others have cherished for many years, even into adulthood. The first works of one Danny Antonucci, such as Lupo the Butcher and the Brothers Grunt, were not ones meant for children. One day he was dared by a colleague to create a child-friendly show. Antonucci accepted the challenge. And on January 4th, 1999, Edna and Eddy aired on Cartoon Network. The show followed three preteen misfits with similar names: Ed, the lovable oaf with buttered toast on the brain; the neurotic Ed with two D's, called Double D, who is the brains of the bunch; and Eddy, the short de facto leader of the trio with a brash mouth that gets him into trouble, as they try, and usually fail, to con the other neighborhood kids of their allowances for some candy. Typical children's summer shenanigans. Well, mostly summer. This show was a huge part of my childhood, and obviously, I'm not alone on this. For 9 years, Edna and Eddy had entertained children with their slapstick humor and quotable characters. It wouldn't be until November 8th of 2009, one year after the first and last episode of season 6 aired, that the show received a proper send-off in the form of the television movie The Big Picture Show. The movie fully capitulates on what made the show great, with some bit of character development for the characters, specifically the Eds. In the end, the Eds are accepted into the cul-de-sac friend group, and that's how it ended. A bit bittersweet, if you ask me. On November 2019, 10 years since the movie and 20 years since the original show's debut, a fellow fan named George Abingdon, and I hope I got that name right, kickstarted his fan project, Peach Creek, a fan-made adult web series that focuses on the now late teen characters going through the throes of their final year in high school. I wasn't aware of this project until maybe 2021 through TikTok, and I was honestly very much hooked. And just a few days ago, August 2nd of 2023, its first episode was finally released on the YouTube channel Peach Creek. Please follow Peach Creek if you haven't done so already. Please, please, please do that, please. It was amazing to see a continuation of sorts for this beloved show. A show that honestly didn't need a continuation, but Creek was also a love letter to the show that brought great joy to a generation. If only one more official adult animated comedy followed the sentiment. Anywho, as mentioned, Peach Creek is an adult web series. This means the show has taken more on the mature side when it comes to dialogue and the teen's view on the world. Even the once vibrant colors of the cul-de-sac look more saturated to give a more mature air to it. The witty dialogue still remained, along with many callbacks to the original show, just emphasize how much the characters have grown over the past, I believe, 5 years of their time. Let's talk about the characters for a bit, and where to better off than the Eds. Ed, even at the age of 18, is still the lovable oaf that he is, albeit with a little more brains this time around. Double D is still a stickler for rules, but has started to become more independent from his ever absent parents. And last but not least, Eddy. Eddy is still his bold and snarky self, but he had matured since the movie. While everything seems fine on the surface level, things are not as hunky-dory as it seems deep down. Ed is still favored under his sister Sarah and is starting to drift from his family due to the mistreatment. Double D is revealed to have moderate depression and has to regularly take medication, which didn't help with how often his parents were gone and how monotonous his school life is. Eddie's current issues are less connected with his family and more about his personality as well as the people around him, other than his family. He briefly went back to his old ways before getting out of it, but there was still a bit damage from it. So his self-worth might be on the rocks again. Clearly, there are some underlying issues that's going to be addressed in this web series. The Ed boys aren't the only ones who have matured. Every character had grown out of their childhood in some shape or form. May Kenker is trying to figure herself out outside of her close knit sisters. Kevin and Ness have an on again, off again relationship. Rolf is quite the ladies' man, even though it doesn't last long due to cultural differences. Jimmy is figuring himself out on terms of his orientation, and Johnny is no longer carrying around Plank. Even Sarah has started to mature. While still snappy and with quite the temper, Sarah is starting to realize just how privileged she was growing up and how her parents and herself have treated Ed over the years. She is still the little princess to her parents, something that she now actively loathes. To make a long story short, nearly every character has a deep problem that's going to be pretty much tackled, I'm sure, along with the Ed story. I'm very, very curious how this is going to turn out. As mentioned earlier, the first episode has been aired, so I want to talk about that for a small bit. By the way, I'm going to put that link down in the description below if you haven't found this already. The episode mainly focuses on Double D, and right off the bat, one major thing we see is his wastebasket full of his labels. Good lord, things have definitely changed over the years. We then see the infamous notes that Double D's parents used to communicate with him. According to one specific note, his parents were going to be gone from July to September. At first, I wasn't too put off by that, since this is just emphasizing the joke. However, it takes a slight darker tone when you see Double D marking the days on the calendar for October. From later dialogue, it's implied that his parents had been gone for 3 months. Okay, I don't know about you guys, but this rubs me the wrong way. I mean, sure, Double D's is like in his final year in high school and is itching towards the age of 18. However, he's still legally a minor. I don't think it's allowed for the parents to leave him alone for this long. At least in the US, I feel. Someone with better knowledge of this, please tell me if you can. Now, this does. It's either like a work related thing, or they disappeared, or they just straight up abandoned him. Neither of those things are good, in my opinion, and as stated before, it's taking a toll on Double D, clearly. The episode is a tad slow when it comes to plot, but is mostly there to reintroduce us to the now older characters and show us Peach Creek. And apparently the rival Lemonbrook from that one episode is falling on hard times. Oh boy. Some offhanded dialogue from the characters give us a little bit of insight of what they're doing nowadays. One that someone stuck out to me was that Kevin upgraded from a regular bike to an old Harley. Even little actions, just as Marie flirting with Double D at a distance, shows that the Kanker sisters at least matured from chasing after the Eds like they did when they were younger. Even until near the end of the episode when the plot really starts going. May has a bizarre dream that eventually show her that Ed was leaving. It was hinted throughout the episode that someone was packing up, implying they were about to, I guess, run away. I at first thought it was Double D since he was the major focus of the episode, and I figured that he was going to run away due to, his issues with his parents. I was right about the concept, but not of who it applied to. It was Ed. Prior, it was revealed that he was being forced by his mother to help Sarah with her homework. Given what I said about Sarah earlier, she probably didn't want this, and clearly neither did Ed. And while Ed has gotten smarter, in a sense, over the years, I'm pretty sure that, like, I don't think he's a much better candidate to, teach someone if, the spelling bee has anything to go by. But, you know, it's currently unknown what exactly has happened because later that evening, Ed is shown to be leaving home. Whatever has had happened, it was the last straw for Ed. Whether it's his mother, his father, or maybe even Sarah in some degree, or all of the above. According to the Edna and Eddy fan and wiki that has a dedication to Peach Creek, there are plans for at least 12 episodes with titles and incredibly brief summaries. While I'm giddy about seeing Double D possibly finally having enough of everything, maybe has something to do with his parents, in episode 6, I'm excited for the rest of every episode on the list. I have no doubt that will take a while for these episodes to air, let alone episode 2. So the best thing to do here is to wait patiently. Seriously, subscribe to the channel and support the creator. They work so hard on this. It was right to call Peach Creek a love letter to the show. Ed and Eddy had become a major part of many people's childhoods and reminds us of every little harebrained scheme we might have come up with in our youth and cringe at the hilarity of it, as well as the beauty of summers during that period of our lives. I guess all I can really say right now is thank you. So, thank you. Thank you, Danny Antonucci, for bringing us this amazing show and brightening up our childhoods. And thank you, George Abingdon, for reviving the love of this series. I cannot wait to see more, and please, stay tuned. I hate you so much, and go dine a ditch somewhere!
I've been dreaming on in my head like I've seen it. A life worth living is a life with meaning. I'll do